Welcome back. I got you a good little video this week. Yeah, the flashy stuff will probably stop in a minute. It's dang cameras. Anyhow, welcome to the show, Darren 6772. My name's Darren. This is 68, so 67 to 72. I'm doing a drip rail seal this week. This camera, basically filling this top trough with seam seal. Now, there's several ways to do it, but I'm gonna cut right to the chase. The best way I've found is self-leveling 3M brand seam sealer. You can use regular seam seal, but it will have marks in it where you squeeze them at the gun. You can try to level it out and smooth it with your finger. You can try the spraying lube on it, all that kind of thing to try and get it flat, but it's not going to be perfectly smooth. This camera's going to make me mad. If you want a good quality finished product, you got to use self-leveling. It will sit right in there. It'll level itself all out. It'll be a completely flat surface. When you paint it, it's going to look really nice. Plus, the self-leveling will tend to seep down into all the little nooks and crannies better than just a regular caulk thickness seam seal. So there's some things to manage with it. And I have done one of these videos before, but I wanted to throw another one out there to show you how this works. I've done them several ways. The only one I've ever done that looks nice and never leaks is the self-leveling quality seam seal. I can't say it enough. Use whatever brand you want to. I'm just giving you my suggestion. By the way, no sponsors anywhere in my life here. Nothing on any of these shows I'm sponsored by anybody. But 3M seam seal is what I buy. By the way, I do have stocks in 3M if that matters. Got nothing to do with this because you buying a couple of these ain't going to change my life. I just realized I got one little thing to touch up before we do this. But I'm going to show you my procedure. I'm going to show you how smooth it is. And after I paint it, you're going to see the finished product is really nice. It isn't all me. It's the product. Application's part of it. So let's start on application. Get right into this video. We got things to do. If you've seen the video before, the other one, I think you'll like this one even better. I'm getting a little more in depth on it. So you're going to fill this, and I'm going to get you higher so you can see better, but be patient. You're going to fill the top of this rail with a self-leveling seam seal. My camera hates white paint. It's too bright. It throws it off, so just bear with me. As you get down here towards the seam, that's your cutoff point where you want to stop your seam seal. But it's self-leveling. It's thin. It's going to drip. So it's going to run down past it. That's okay. If you get a drip past it and you do it just right, you can leave it and put the next thick seam seal behind the rail on this vertical spot and blend that together beautifully. We're going to shoot for that. If by some chance you don't, it depends on the shop temperature, the temperature of the seam seal, how much you put on. There's a lot of variables. So bear with me. I put these stopper pockets, whatever you want to call them, and I'll do one in front of the other side. What this is for is if you put too much or it's too warm or it's too cold out here and it doesn't set quick enough, it will run too far down the side and you want to stop it because it's just work to get it off. You don't want it dripping all the way down the side of the truck. If by some chance it does fill this pocket, that's okay. You can come back to the seam, which you can't see because the camera's not acting right, and you can cut it off with a razor blade, take that part loose, and start your heavy body seam seal down this way. So you have a backup plan. Let's try the other side. Maybe my camera will like it better. It doesn't want to cooperate today. Yeah, I got more work to do in the back. Today we're working on the drip edge. So let's do one together. Let me get around. Do one with you guys here. You can see what I'm doing and what I'm up to, how this works. Ideally, we want the seam seal to stop at this line, or actually about an inch past. We want it to drip down just that far. See if I can stay out of your way. How I do this, just regular tape. I'm going to go to the other side. And you take this tape and you push it in about 2 inches down, as far in as you can push it. I usually stick the tape to the seal, push it down in there a little bit, best you can. Get that on the back side of that ridge and push it down in there tight. That first one is in case I didn't get it in far enough. You can use a screwdriver, a plastic wrench, or a plastic poker, whatever you want. You know what? I got a popsicle stick right here. That'd be a good idea. I don't normally, but why not? And just get that right into that corner. Make sure that corner's pressed against the body. Oh, that works perfect. I'm gonna do it from now on. Being around it. Get the inside corner up tight against that rail. I'll loosen it again. Just make sure it gets in tight. Go right up tight in there. All that is for is if it drips too far, you ain't got to peel off the truck. You can pull this back and cut it off. Now, right now, it will just keep running, so we'll make a couple of pockets. I do too. If one is good, two is more good. Same thing, but you want to tip your tape this time. Get it as far in there as you can get it, leaving your tape out of the hole. By the way, tape sticks to tape really good. So there, we've got a nice seal. Make a little pinch right here in the center. I did it on the other side, but whatever you got to do to make a pocket to stop that sealer. Now I'm going to do a second one because, again, one might leak. You never know. So come in here again. Let's try to pinch this a little bit and get that to stop. Stuck in the glove. You get the idea. This is something to keep it from running down the truck. That's all you're after. That's going to do the trick. Got a good place for it to stop. All right, now we're going to get to work. But before we do, let's talk about this. I have in the past started in the center and worked my way around to the edge and finished. Come back to the center and do the far side. The problem I found with that, and it's a good idea to do it if it's your first time, the problem I come across was the time it took me, flashy flash, to get from here and around and come back. This was already starting to set just a little, just enough that when I started again and went that way, there was always a line there where the two started and stopped. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but you could see it. Now, you can't see it walking around the truck. Maybe if your truck's lowered enough, you might be able to see it from the side when you get in and out of the truck. But it's in a location where that line isn't so bad that it really doesn't matter. But I always try to do the best I can, even if it's not necessary. I'm not that great at anything. But I still do the best I can, even if it's a little more work. So I am going to start on the driver's side. That doesn't matter, but I'm going to. And I'm going to work all the way around the front in one full job so that I don't have any of those start stops. And I'll try to get you in a place where you can see what I'm doing the whole time, because once I start, I'm not stopping. So I got a cart over here. I got the heat on too. I could turn that off. But last I knew, my my microphone doesn't pick that up. So here I'm going to get you a better location. I have a step stool to readjust you. All right, that's it for bouncing around. Can you see? Yeah, you can't see good. Oh, there's one more thing I got to show you. Dang it. I'm not the highest, best production guy there ever was, but I'm trying. Let's get you adjusted, and you can see me enough to. I can't reach you way up there, folks. Let's get you tilted down a touch. My camera don't want to cooperate. Go figure. All right, you're in the back. You're gonna see what you're gonna see. I don't need that tape. So there you go. That's the back of the truck. Would you rather be in the front? No, I'll just be in your way. You'll get the idea. You'll see what I'm doing. So before you get started, before you put your camera up high, grab your level. Put your level right on this rail. You should be level, right on the money level. I had to put some blocks under this on my hoist because it was tilted a little bit. If you're tilted back too far, it won't cover the front of the lip as much as you'd like. It'll fade to the back more, which, again, not the end of the world, but we're trying to make this nice. It's going to look funny when you paint it. If you're going to err on an angle, I still say level. But if anything, you'd want it nose lower. You'd rather it come up on this ridge higher and be less on the roof. You won't see it as much. So if you're going to be off level, be nose down. I'm right on over here. I mean, right smack on. The driver's side, not so much. It appears that this rail has got a little little bump in the middle. It's just, I'm still on, but the rail isn't quite as flat for some reason. I don't know if somebody pushed on and got bent. It doesn't matter. You can't see it, but it just doesn't level. It kind of rocks. That makes sense. So we're right on level. We can get started. Now, again, I just noticed something. So it's not that I wasn't prepared. I mean, I guess I wasn't, but I didn't notice before. I got a little bit of filler or something sticking over on this. I don't know why. We're going to seal and paint this again later anyway. I don't even know if that was mine, but I got it off. The track has all been sanded, obviously sanded over that bump, and I blew it out. But let's do it again. Take just a regular blowgun, whatever you got, and just blow this track out good. That stuff I just got loose, I want to get out of that. It's going to be fine. All right, I got the air, blew it all out. Now, next, for me, I'm telling you, that's all I buy. You buy what you want to. That's the only thing I'll use. In this case, you couldn't see it, 3M 8307. We're 08307. 08307. It's called Self-Leveling Seam Seal by 3M. That's the only thing I'm ever going to use. Let me get set up. My step stool. Now, I'm going to have to stop, move my stool a few times, but I won't be stopping long enough for anything to cure. And I'll kind of talk you through what I'm doing, although I'll get nervous. I won't be able to talk so much. So you can see me. I'm going to start here at the line, the seam. And it's going to be a little awkward pushing around this. I like to pull better, but I'm not good left-handed, so I'll be able to finish better over there. That's just like it. What I use is a weave back and forth motion, just slightly. And I'm basically almost like welding. I just kind of want to go back and forth. If you push solid in the middle, you'll tend to have a bit of a hump. And that hump might come out. I don't know for sure. This camera is going to drive me crazy. Let me change my gloves. It takes 2 seconds. If you put it just a straight bead down the middle, you have to use so much product that it'll have a bump in the middle, or a crown, I guess would be the better English verbiage to use. Come on. And I wouldn't like it. So it just takes an extra second to do that weave. And I'm a welder, so I'm kind of used to doing weave. It's pretty natural for me. If you're not used to it, get some cheap caulk and a piece of paper and just weave back and forth. Try and see how even you can do it. It's just, I don't know, it's just a bit of a knack. That's all I can say. So I'm not going to be doing anything back here. Maybe I can just put that there for a minute. Would that be all right? And then for those of you guys that are looking for this, sorry, this is just a quick video. Let's get this going. This is just doing this rail today. I know you can't see me well over here. You'll see me better as I get over there, but here it is. I'm nervous. I ain't gonna lie. You only get one shot at this. The next thing is, I didn't tell you, this feels thin. Self-leveling. I'm gonna turn that heater off too. Just want to think about it. It'd be less noise. You only get one shot at this. No, I guess you can fix anything, but it's really just the way it is. You got 8 minutes of working time. What 8 minutes of working time means is you got less than 8 minutes to walk away and come back. 15 minutes says you can paint it. I wouldn't dream of it. Says it's cured in an hour. I don't know. I don't mess with it for at least a day. One container will do one roof, one drip rail. If you run out, well, you're screwed. You're going to have a seam. Start another day. Most people don't want to buy 2 of these. They're pricey. I like $50 now. I usually keep 2 in the shop that way, just in case it doesn't ruin my day. I'm on my last one, so I wasn't prepared. I know. I think I run a better shop than that. I'm picking on me. By the way, the stuff's kind of clear, if you will. I'm not going to be able to talk the whole time. Just covering the bottom good to start with. Not worried about laying it on thick. As you come up the rail from that seam, there's a flat spot on the roof. And that is your guide as to how full you want this. You don't want to do too much because it'll run up on the roof and give you a feathered edge. But if you go too low, then you have that. There's a line. I don't know how to word it. It's where they bent the metal. And I'm still just making sure I got enough. It's what it's always about. Stuff's pretty thin, so it's pretty easy to do. I let it warm up a little bit in the shop today because I like it a little thinner personally. I also apply it more on the outside, making sure you get it full. Remember, you can go back for the first couple minutes. I got a little on the edge, but again, I'm working upside down. It'll clean off. And we're feeling pretty good. Now into an easier spot. A little bubble, but I think it'll come out. I'm not in a hurry. Just pushing it back and forth. No, it's not super exciting, but this is something I didn't do enough. I'll go back a little bit. You can cheat a little bit when it's thinner. Not an exciting video to watch a bunch happen, but this is something that everybody's going to do. Everybody that owns these. You're going to have to do this. Even if you bought a 72, the truck is old enough now. It needs one of these. It needs a new seal put in. So even though guys that you out there that don't want to repaint your truck and you're not looking to do a bunch of body work, it's a required. You have to do this. Dig out the old one and put in a new one. It's worth the $50 not to have your floor wet and rot out your dash, because that's what happens. Now you can, again, I'm leaving my tip down in the trough, looking back to see how good of a job I did. Come along good. And then I'm worried about running out. See? Don't do that. You've got plenty in here. When you get to the center halfway, if you're running, you can look in the gun and see what you got. If you're less than half and you think you're not going to make it, you can go a little thinner. Nobody's going to notice. It's not going to matter. I'm running. My experience is if you run up to that fold in the metal where they got it bent and you fill it even, you'll run right on. Your gun will run out right when you're done. I'm going just a little below it right now. I don't see a need to overdo, and I want to make sure I don't run out because I don't have a spare container. This is probably more what you guys would do. You don't own a shop. Why would you have 10 tubes of this stuff laying around? Be no reason for it. Again, if you come up on the rail and you overdo it, you can shave it off. It doesn't matter. If you overdo it on the truck, you're pretty much stuck with it. I don't believe you're going to be able to sand it smooth. I'm going left-handed now. I don't believe you're going to be able to sand it off. I just make darn sure I don't. I'll go back and get this little spot. I want it to look good, and I'm sure you guys do too. But the last thing you want to do, the purpose is to seal it. So do whatever you got to do to make sure you get every nook and cranny full. That's more important. If it looks pretty and leaks, that ain't no good for nobody. The only reason I asked you to watch the video and go all the way through it is your day is coming. You're going to be doing this. And as I go around talking you through this, I can make sure I might come across something that I don't remember off the top of my head. So I'm just getting past the first seam where this pillar is hooked together separately. So there's a seam front and back on the pillar. What I mean by front and back is one by the windshield and one back here. When you get to those, make sure you get all of those. That's where they tend to leak. I'm actually going to jump forward, fill a little spot, and up on the front ridge just a little bit. Let that run down, and I'll get back to it as I move back toward it. Jumping back, bit of a wide spot. I like to fill that seam first. That stuff fill in there first. Then come back again. Make sure you've got the trough full, all the way across. I don't know how else to work. It's an art. It's like anything else. You're going to do it, and you're going to think, oh, I could do it better next time. That's fine. I'm getting close to moving my chair or my step stool. Just make sure I got a good even coat through here. We are going to paint this, but man, I got a little bit on the truck. That's my first time of doing that. I got a little bit on the roof, so we're going to see what I got to do to get that either leveled up later for paint or sanded in. I don't know. I've never had that problem. But I did it today. I'm going a little thin. Where are we at? Talking through how I'm thinking. Are we halfway through? Oh, no, we're not. We're right where we should be, about a third of the way. This is your leak area. Make sure you fill this pretty good in here. And it's a little wider, so it's going to take a little more. There we go. I know you guys can't see as good as I can, but I just can't chance moving you and having the camera right in my face on this job. Maybe someday when I'm doing mine. This ain't mine. Good spot to readjust. It looks great. I'm just being picky, people. It's clear, so even if I move the camera, I don't think you're going to see it. I say clear, not perfectly clear, but mostly clear. Not comfortable yet. When I get on that side, I'll be a lot more comfortable. It's coming nicely. It comes out kind of, I don't know how to word it. It's thick, but it's thin. That makes sense? It comes out kind of runny, which is what it's supposed to do. I would say probably the best way to get this as even as possible is try and put the same amount of material in as possible. I'm not as smooth as normal. But again, it's going to self-level. I think I'm going to be fine. I can start weaving again. Just can't see good. Not comfortable. Don't know what to tell you. I will show you the finished job as soon as we finish up here at the end. Let's get this to settle out a little bit. I'll show you how it turns out. I prefer a 60-degree shot. Seems to work well with everything I do. Even in the summer, I'll run the air conditioner. It just doesn't dry as quick. You got a little more working time with things. If it's too warm, and obviously anything less than 60, you can do. Problem with running in, say you do a 55-degree shot, you're going to get a lot more running on that end back there. This isn't this. I'm not happy with this so far. Super uncomfortable. I haven't been comfortable for a few days with anything, so it's probably just me. I'm probably not putting enough in. See, I second guess myself like everybody else. And I've done, I don't know how many of these. Never counted. I gotta do something. Sweating. I turned the heat off. Oops, I'm sorry. I forgot you probably couldn't hear me. I didn't say anything worth listening to. I apologize. Again, it's just drip rail video. It's not like it's whatever. Sorry about that. I didn't say much other than go back a little bit to refill. Do it at the front. It's thin enough, it's going to figure its own way out. All right. That was dumb. I apologize. It's coming though. Let's keep rolling. Try to stay the same thickness best you can. Let it do its thing. That's all that talking you mess was just me telling you I worry too much. This isn't that hard of a job. Trust the product. Trust yourself. Just tend to put the sealant in the front or middle. Try to stay away from the cab top. That's where you're going to bump it. You're going to make waviness out of it. Fill it in the front or the middle. It'll level out. It's so clear I can see right through to the seam, which is kind of neat. All right, let me move again. I think that's all full enough. Level against the cab. Then I might even try a bump on it. I got a couple of wavy spots. I'd usually just leave them. But if you tend to, things that are self-leveling, if you tend to give them a little jiggle, maybe a rubber hammer, they'll tend to flatten a little better than just leaving it alone. If you're trying to be fussy or like me or worry about something that don't even matter. Most people just fill this with regular seam seal. It don't look great. It's fine. Just not for me. All right. Let's reposition. Give that a look over. I got enough in there. You're going to paint it anyway. But you want that place I went back for that bubble? I think that's going to stay there. I think that was a bad move. We should have just left the bubble. It's flattening out. As far as finishing this, though, I don't know when they talk about painting an hour or whatever. As flat and smooth as this stuff is, I can't imagine painting it. What I mean is without scuffing it first, because paint don't stick to shiny things. I'm not happy with that spot. I'm gonna put a little more up here. This is where they seam the two pieces together for the roof, and it just doesn't want to go in that little spot. I got it wrong. Anyhow, I don't paint it without scuffing it. Maybe that's dumb, but I don't like painting shiny things. It doesn't seem to work out. It tends to peel on you. If this comes out and it ain't perfect, remember how much product we're going to put on top of it. The first thing we're going to do is scuff it, just with a 320, maybe 400, just to give it some bite. Then I'm going to come back and spray a sealer over this whole roof. We want to make sure that we don't get any rusting. And then you're going to come back and put on a roof. I'm going to put at least 4 decent coats of paint on it. And I do that because it's a roof. You're going to see it. You're going to notice it. And I want to be able to wet sand it. I'm not going to do it. But I want it to be able to be wet sanded and polished out. And I want there to be plenty of thickness, plenty of mils of paint for them to do that. This video is going to be longer than I thought. But if you're going to do one of these, you want to watch it all, it'd be valuable information. I wish I could have found this video somewhere. Now, I did watch a guy do this recently on his truck, and I honestly don't remember his name, nor would I want to make fun of him on YouTube. But he was doing a C10, a 67 to 72, I don't remember what year. And he is doing a really nice job. He is buying every kind of, if he thinks there's a bad panel, he replaces it. He's worked on a couple of the panels, and he wasn't happy with the work, so he replaced it. Trying to do a great job. I give him credit for trying, and he's doing a very nice, expensive job. And he got to this seal here, this drip rail sealing. And bless his heart, I don't think he knew any better. He used regular seam seal, and then he went back and touched it with his fingers. He don't show much in the video because he's not proud of it. I feel bad for the guy. He's doing such a nice job on his truck. He just didn't know this, probably know that this was even available. He wasn't aware. I don't know, but darn it, it does not look good. And I'm sure he knows it. Again, I'm going to pick out his name. You might watch his video, you may not. But this is, the guy does such a nice job. My point isn't to pick on him. It is if he was aware, and he ain't afraid to spend money. Holy wow. He's got a lot of money into his projects. So he ain't just buying the wrong drip rail seal, we're going to call it, because he's cheap. I got to just assume he didn't know. It's the only thing I can come up with. And I'm going to tell him now. There's no sense in being one of them complainers on his videos. It's not like he can go back and change it. And I don't believe he's going to do another one. So maybe he's better off just not knowing. I don't know. I probably shouldn't even have mentioned it on this video. Hey, we're wrapping up. We're getting near the end. I'm trying to fill this side up a little better. Low. Not bad. A little bit. I can get away with that, right? Yeah, we're doing on seam seal. I can't see that far, so I must be getting up in there close somewhere. I bet I got plenty. Don't worry about it. One's plenty. It always works for me. I've never run out, but I worry every time. Okay, what I'm going to do, can you see me? Yeah. I'm going to get right here at the bottom where we put that stopper. And I'm going to go to the seam right here. And I'm going to go up with it because I want that not to run on me. So I'm going to go a little thin with it right at the bottom. It's going to drip a little on its own, don't worry. And work my way up to that spot where I just quit. Using as little product as necessary at the bottom. And then you can pump a little more out of the gun as you go up. That should finish pretty nice. I'm a little low, a little thin. I'm going to go back and fill in that thin spot. And then we're going to be done with this. This is probably the hard part because it wants to run down. It doesn't want to, as much as it wants to level, if that makes sense. I better stop right there. That's going to have to do. Nope. Put a little more, because I don't know, I just do. A little more right here. Come on. Fill up. Got what looks like a low spot. Again, I'm going to prime it. At least one good coat, probably two. And I'm going to put 4 coats of paint on it. There's going to be 6 layers of product over the top of this. So it's going to level back out. Hey, I'm excited. We're getting near the end. I'm just going to put this on the counter because you guys are here. And we'll get our video going on the finished product. So here we go. We're going to get checking on it. We're going to go over here and we're going to look. You ready? Little jiggle while I bring it down because you guys are up on a 4-foot stand. And I'm going to show you what's going on. Look at because I got it thinner back here. You see how that filled that whole thing, the trough? It definitely ran on this one a lot. That's quite a bit. But it's okay. That's why we made that. We're going to come back into the seam area. And we're going to cut this off and pull that all out. I was hoping for a small drip, but I got a big one today. And when we put our next seam seal on there, it's going to blend perfectly, believe me. So we come up along this edge. I can show you what I got. You can see in there really good. And then look across the front of this. You see how shiny and flat that is across there? That's a nice finish. And I haven't even painted it yet, but we have a great start to painting it. It's feathered against the truck really nicely. It goes all the way to the front and it's filled in just like there's water in there. Well, there's going to be water in there someday. It's all filled up nicely, nice and level and flat. It's going to paint nice. It's going to look nice. And most of all, it's going to seal nice. I can't see, but you guys may be able to see that. Can you see that bubble spot I fixed? I'll show you that again when we're all done and it's painted. I don't know, 3 weeks from now or whatever it is when I paint it. And I'll bet you that bump right there is gone. I'm betting, I might be wrong. If it's still there, I might figure out a way to sand on it or something. Filled in almost to the front. Let me take you around this way. You know you got too much if it overfills. Like up here, I'm getting pretty close. But this rail might dip a little. Who knows what happened? I think it does because when I was working on it, I tried to hammer it up, but I didn't want to keep bending on stuff. So it's a little closer to the edge here. I wiped this off over here smooth, but it's getting pretty close to the top. I ain't gonna lie. So that front corner on this truck's a little low because we know the truck is level. And then as you come back, excuse my jerkiness, that trough is all filled nicely. This little bend right here goes right to it. Nicely smooth. Now here's where we ended. My drip is much better on this side. You could almost leave that drip and just seal over the top of it, which I probably will if it doesn't drip a bunch more. When you pull the tape off, you'll break that down here, but you're going to come back up here with your firm bodied seam sealer and go all the way down. Some of you might ask why you don't do the full body first so that this one overlaps it, which normally like shingles would make more sense. The problem is when this drips down onto your finished product, how are you going to stop it? This particular one would have looked fine. A lot of GMs have a drip on them. If I knew it was going to be that thin, I could have done the bottom first and just left that drip and paint over it. But I'd like a little better finished job. So there's what you got. You got to see the job. I know it's kind of boring. It's not really the most fun video, but I think it's one of the most informative, and it definitely is one of the most important things you'll do on these trucks. Imagine doing all this work, getting your dash painted, dash pad on, carpet in, and I'll tell you a story about that. And then drive it for the first time, get caught in a rainstorm. Seems to happen whenever you get a nice truck finished. Mine, I left it out. Yeah, I left it out. I didn't park it indoors because I had something in here to work on. I left Spanish Gold parked out, and I got in after a heavy rain. I thought, well, it's a good test. Let's see how it turned out. And the carpet was wet. And let me tell you, I was not a happy man. I don't know how it leaked. I can't imagine how this would leak when it's flowing into every little nook and cranny. How could it leak? It turned out my door wasn't shut good. It was on that first latch. I didn't have it completely latched, and it rained in and caught the edge of the door. It wasn't a lot, but enough to make the carpet wet, and it scared me to death. Unfortunately, that's what I think made it leak, because the door was ajar. But someday I'm gonna have to park it in the rain again on purpose. Although if it leaks, I don't know how I'm gonna fix it, because I don't know where the devil it would leak. So you guys got to see it. That's how you do these. This is the best way to do them. I'm gonna put my word on it. Darren says this is the best way. I know that's not what you're supposed to do on YouTube. You guys do your thing your way, and I'm happy with it. If you have a better way, I'm man enough to tell you. Show me, please. I want to know, and I'll give you credit for having the best way. But 3M self-leveling, this is what I do, and I am always happy with it. I haven't done one yet that I thought turned out bad. Sure, there might be a tiny little flaw in it somewhere, but boy, it just looks nice. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you watching the video. See you next week, or maybe sooner. You never know.